Hi, welcome to USCIS Green Card, and today we're going to talk the pause on 75 countries' consular processing for immigrant visas, which include green cards like EB-20W and EB-1A. Hi, my name is Oscar, as you know, and in this channel with Marina, we talk about green cards like NIW, EB-1A, in which you can be the owner of your immigration process because you don't need a job sponsorship, and also you can do it without hiring a lawyer. We talk about it here in this channel, in our channel in Spanish, in oscarsgreencard.com, where you have access to our specialized courses if you want to do it by yourself. And this is all coming from my personal experience and official public information. And today we come with not so great news because Donald Trump's government has been going on and on about immigration. I already talked about it many times in this channel with 2 travel bans already in place from 2025, the last one from December. And now they have issued a pause on the issuance of visas for 75 countries. That means that consular processing is affected for 75 countries. We're going to see which countries. We're going to see the full list, how many people are affected population-wise, and we're going to see what are the exceptions and who is affected and all the frequently asked questions that you may have. Yesterday we issued a short video when we didn't have a lot of information. Now we have some more information, but the situation is evolving and you should always look for the most recent news. This is the notice from the State Department, and I'll leave the link in the description of the video so you can go and read it by yourself at your own pace. But the reason they gave for this pause on immigrant visa processing, according to the Department of State, is because they are reviewing policies and regulations and guidance to ensure that immigrants from these, what they call high-risk countries, do not utilize welfare in the US or become a public charge to the country. Now, I'm not going to get so much about the reason that they give. I have my personal opinion, which at this point, I think I cannot hide it in these videos anymore. I think this government is just simply anti-immigration and uses immigration as a scapegoat. I said that in my last video of 2025, and they use it to basically have something to blame for a lot of the problems that the country may have. All countries have problems. The US is not an exception. I'm sure the immigration system can be improved. That's not reason to destroy all these immigration processes and to paint everyone with the same brush. Because what they are saying here essentially is that, these 75 countries, they are more prone to use our welfare state, which, by the way, the US doesn't have a great welfare state compared to many other developed countries. And they are basically saying, if you are from one of those countries, we don't care. If you're coming here on an EB-1A extraordinary ability visa or a family visa, we don't care about what type of green card you're coming with. You are a high-risk person. And that is just nonsense. The US has plenty of resources to determine if you carry a public charge or not. And actually part of the process for consular processing is exactly that. Part of the process for adjustment of status is to have scrutiny on those issues. And so it makes no sense. And by the way, you as the applicant are paying for that, not the taxpayer money, because these processes are self-funded by the applicant. So this is all BS in my opinion. I cannot hide it anymore. I have to say things as I believe them. But this video is not about my opinion. This video is about telling you what is going on. So let's go back. Before I get angrier, let's go back to the notice. Actually, I also am a bit sick, so maybe that's why my mood is also not great. So, effective January 21st, so that's the important date for this pause, the Department of State is pausing all visa issuance to immigrant visa applicants. Immigrant visa means green cards. Immigrant visa applicants who are nationals of the following countries. Important, who are nationals. It's not about residency. Is about citizenship, it's about nationality. And they provide a full list that I have here on the next screen in a more clear way. And I will let you pause the video if you need to. It's a good moment to take a look at everything. These are the 75 countries that are affected by this pause. So pause the video if you need to look at it, and we continue now. So let's get into the frequently asked questions that the State Department published, and then I'm going to tell you my own frequently asked questions. What happens to my immigrant visa interview appointment? Immigrant visa applicants who are nationals from those countries may submit visa applications and attend interviews. So interviews are not cancelled. and the department will continue to schedule applicants for appointments, but no immigrant visas will be issued to these nationals during this pause. So what has been happening with other cases from the previous travel bans is that people go to the interviews, they don't get a cancellation, they still go there, they conduct the interview as they would normally do, but at the end, instead of giving you the approval, they will hand you a paper saying, well, according to this rule that we have now, we cannot issue a visa to you because you are a national from, imagine, from Russia. So you have to wait. And basically you are put on pause indefinitely, because another frequently asked question that we will see later is that we don't know how long this will last. Are there any exceptions? Very important. Yes, dual nationals applying with a valid passport of a country that is not listed above are exempt from this pause. So if you are from one of these countries, but you carry, in addition, another nationality that is not affected, you should be very clear in the interview and let the officer know that you are applying based on your other passport, okay? Because that is your way out of this problem. You then should be able to receive the visa. And by the way, residency doesn't matter, okay? Yeah, but I'm a resident of Canada. It doesn't matter. Are you a Canadian citizen? That is the question, okay? If you want to apply this exception. Does this affect my current valid visa? No immigrant visas have been revoked as part of this guidance. For questions regarding admission to the US, we refer you to the DHS. So theoretically, they don't say that they will not revoke visas. They're not saying that, but they are saying that they haven't done it yet, okay? So by reading this, anything could happen, really. I would expect that they will not revoke visas. So if you already have the stamp, because maybe you went yesterday to the interview and you got approved and you get the passport with the stamp, hopefully you don't have any issue. But we have to see. Does this apply to tourist visas? And they say no. This pause is specifically for immigrant visa applicants. This is for green cards, family, employment, but it's not for non-immigrant visas. Tourist visas are B visas, and those are non-immigrant visas. Other examples of non-immigrant visas are student visas, F visas, or H visas for workers. Remember, this pause doesn't affect non-immigrant visa, but the previous two bans, June and December 2025, there are some countries in which they are affected in terms of non-immigrant visas. So you have to look at all of these things together. So my own frequently asked questions. How long it will take for the pause to be lifted? We don't know. When we know, we will let you know, but most likely we will not really have reliable information until they actually lift it. It could be in a month, it could be in months from now, or it could be when Donald Trump gets out of power or they remove it from power. Does it affect I-140s? Can you start the green card process under these circumstances? No, it doesn't affect I-140s. At this time, it only affects consular processing, the visa stamping abroad. So if you are from one of these countries, there's nothing preventing you from filing your I-140. And in fact, if you are, for example, thinking on an EB2 NIW, it makes sense to apply and submit your I-140, even if you are from Russia or from Pakistan, because you are getting in line, you are getting your priority date established. So it's always a good idea, since in EB2, there's a long wait time according to the visa bulletin. So you're going to have to wait anyway. So it's better that you get your process moving. Does it affect adjustment of status I-485? At this time, it doesn't, okay? Because this is the State Department talking about consular processing. USCIS is the agency that governs adjustment of status within the US. And they have not issued a similar measure, but we shouldn't rule out that they will do it. They could do the same. In fact, for previous travel bans, they took a few weeks or a few days to then issue a similar memo in USCIS. This time, I cannot tell you if that's going to be the case or not. We just don't know. So as of now, if you are filing an adjustment of status, you are not affected, even if you are from these countries, unless you're affected from the previous travel bans. A few facts before we finish the video. The countries that are affected, these 75 countries, according to ChatGPT, they have a population, a combined population of 2.5 billion. That's 30% of the world. Almost a third of the world is affected. And again, similar to the previous travel ban, this is mostly an Africa-Asia ban, or in this case, pause. 42% of the inhabitants that are affected by this pause are Africans and 38% are Asians. 23 of the 75 countries affected here in this pause were already affected by the June or December travel bans, and 52 countries were not affected. And here I have a few examples ordered by population: Pakistan, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, Ethiopia. Those are countries that are now affected at the consular level by this pause, but they were not affected by the previous travel ban. So it's important to distinguish both things and to understand which countries were already affected and which countries are not, because the level of effect of the travel bans and this pause are different. This is just a pause on consular processing, and the previous travel bans are go beyond that, in some cases way beyond that actually. So this is all from me. I hope you're not in this situation, and if you are, I hope this made your mind a little bit more clear as to how you're affected and what can happen to your process. And if you still have questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I will try to get through them as well. As usual, I hoped I had better news, and I hope at some point I will, but these are the news today, and this is how we explain the news. So this is part of what we do. If you are still interested in starting your EB2NAW or EB1A, which you can because you can file your I-140s, then go to oscarsgreencard.com and take a look at our specialized courses where we teach you step by step how to do this process. Thank you and have a good day.